Welcome back to my channel, Learning English Level 3. In today's video, we're diving into a topic that's truly life-changing. Don't waste your life. It's easy to get caught up in the everyday routine, but today I'm here to help you make sure you don't miss out on the full potential of your life. This video will give you 10 lessons that will inspire and guide you to live life with purpose, and it will also help you improve your English fluency. So make sure to watch till the end for some great lessons, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support means a lot to me, and it helps me create more content like this for you. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Time is your most valuable asset. Time is the most precious resource we have, and once it's gone, we can't get it back. It doesn't matter how rich or powerful you are. Time is something that's equal for everyone. The clock is always ticking, and every minute that passes is a minute you can never reclaim. So, how do we make sure we don't waste it? Example story 1. Meet Sam. Sam was in his early 20s and spent most of his time playing video games and binge-watching TV shows. Every weekend, he'd tell himself that he would start doing something productive on Monday, but Monday never came. One day, while scrolling through his social media, he saw an article about people achieving their dreams and living successful lives. It hit him hard. He realized that while others were working towards their goals, he was letting time slip away. He decided it was time for a change. Sam started by looking at how he spent his time. He realized that his evenings and weekends, which he used to spend on passive entertainment, could be put to much better use. He started learning new skills like coding, took online courses on design, and even began reading books that helped him grow both personally and professionally. Over time, his life transformed. He got a better job as a graphic designer, made new friends who shared his ambitions, and eventually started his own business. Sam learned that using time wisely was the key to unlocking his potential, and he was never going to waste it again. Example story 2. Sarah had always wanted to get in shape, but she kept waiting for the perfect time to start. She'd tell herself, "I'll start after the holidays," or "I'll begin once the weather is better." But one day, Sarah had an epiphany. She realized that there would never be a perfect time, and waiting was only wasting her precious moments. So she decided to make a change. She began with small steps. Instead of trying to run a mile or spend hours at the gym, she set a goal to exercise for just 15 minutes a day. It wasn't much, but it was something. Each day, she pushed herself a little harder, and soon those 15 minutes turned into 30 minutes, then an hour. After a year of consistent effort, Sarah felt stronger, healthier, and happier than she had ever felt before. She learned that the perfect time to take action is always now, and her small, consistent use of time led to life-changing results. Example story 3. John had always dreamed of traveling the world. He had a long list of countries he wanted to visit, but somehow life always got in the way. He'd tell himself, "I'll save up for a big trip next year." But next year always seemed to come and go. Then one day, John was talking to a friend who had just returned from a backpacking trip through Europe. His friend's stories were so inspiring, and John felt a deep sense of regret for not having taken the chance when he had the opportunity. It was then that John realized that life was passing him by. Time wasn't waiting for him, and if he wanted to live his dream of traveling, he needed to start right away. He took a hard look at his finances, started budgeting better, and saved money specifically for travel. He planned trips, booked flights, and visited new countries. Those adventures gave him a fresh perspective on life. He learned that time is too valuable to wait for the right moment. Every day spent putting off his dreams was a day wasted. Lesson 2: Set clear goals. Without goals, life can feel like you're just floating along without direction. Setting clear, well-defined goals gives you a purpose and a roadmap to follow. It helps you break down big dreams into smaller, actionable steps. Example story 1. Mark had always been unhappy in his job. He worked as an office assistant, but he knew deep down that it wasn't his passion. He loved art and design and dreamed of becoming a graphic designer. But every day he felt stuck. He knew he needed a change but didn't know where to start. Then Mark realized that the first step was setting a clear goal. Mark's goal was simple but powerful. I want to become a graphic designer in 1 year. To achieve this, he broke it down into smaller goals. He would spend 1 hour each day learning design skills, another hour working on building a portfolio, and dedicate weekends to completing online courses. By the end of the year, Mark had a strong portfolio, and he was able to land a job as a junior graphic designer. His goal gave him the direction he needed to achieve his dream. Example story 2. Lisa had always loved writing, but the idea of writing an entire book overwhelmed her. She wanted to write a novel, but the task seemed insurmountable. Instead of thinking about the entire book, Lisa set a smaller, more achievable goal. I'll write 500 words a day. At first, 500 words seemed like a lot, but Lisa broke it down even further. She committed to writing just 1 page a day. Slowly but surely, those 500 words turned into chapters, and after a year, Lisa had a complete manuscript. She published her book, and it became a success. By setting a clear and manageable goal, Lisa was able to finish what she started, proving that little steps lead to big accomplishments. Example story 3. Tom had always wanted to run a marathon, but he doubted whether he was capable of it. He wasn't a long-distance runner, and he felt like it would be impossible. But one day he decided to set a goal. I will run a marathon in 1 year. He started small, running just 1 mile each day. Then he increased his distance to 5 miles, then 10 miles. Throughout his training, he faced setbacks, but his goal kept him motivated. When race day finally came, Tom ran his marathon. His goal had pushed him to train, improve, and achieve something he once thought was impossible. Lesson 3. Focus on self-improvement. Self-improvement is the best investment you can make. Whether it's learning new skills, improving your health, or growing as a person, the effort you put into bettering yourself pays off in countless ways. Example story 1. Emily was stuck in a rut. She felt like she wasn't growing, either professionally or personally. She decided that in order to break free, she needed to improve herself. She began reading self-help books and learning about topics like leadership, productivity, and positive thinking. Every week, she made sure to read a new book and apply its lessons to her life. Over time, Emily began to notice changes in herself. She became more confident at work, and her boss recognized her growth. Emily received a promotion and felt more in control of her life. The books she read helped her see things from a new perspective, and her commitment to self-improvement gave her the life she had always wanted. Example story 2. Jack was terrified of public speaking. He would get nervous just thinking about speaking in front of an audience. But he didn't let this fear stop him. He set a goal to improve his public speaking skills. He joined a local Toastmasters club and practiced every week. He took every opportunity to speak in front of groups, even if it was just a few people at a time. After months of practice, Jack became comfortable with public speaking. He went on to become a motivational speaker, sharing his story and encouraging others to overcome their fears. By focusing on self-improvement, Jack transformed a weakness into one of his greatest strengths. Example story 3. Laura had always struggled with self-doubt. She didn't believe in her own abilities and constantly second-guessed herself. But she decided she wanted to change that. She started setting small challenges for herself, like speaking up in meetings or taking on new projects at work. With each challenge, she grew more confident. Laura's self-improvement journey helped her overcome her insecurities. She eventually became a leader in her community, mentoring others and sharing her story. What started as self-doubt ended in self-assurance, proving that working on yourself can unlock your potential. Lesson 4. Take action. Ideas are the seeds of success, but without action, they remain just that, ideas. No matter how great your vision is, it will stay a dream unless you take that crucial first step. The hardest part is often getting started, but once you do, momentum builds and things begin to move. Taking action is the key to turning dreams into reality. Example story 1. Anna had a brilliant business idea. She had been thinking about starting an online store for months. She'd researched everything: products, suppliers, branding, but something always held her back. She kept doubting herself, afraid of failure and unsure where to begin. One evening, Anna decided that if she kept waiting for the perfect moment, she'd never take action. So she took the plunge. She set up her website, ordered her first batch of products, and launched her online store. The first few months were tough. Sales were slow, and she faced many challenges. But Anna didn't give up. She kept learning, improving her marketing strategies, and connecting with customers. Over time, her business grew, and today, she has a thriving online store. That first step, no matter how daunting, changed everything. Example story 2. Chris had always dreamed of being a musician. He played guitar and wrote his own songs, but his fear of failure kept him from taking the first step. He worried that people wouldn't like his music or that he wouldn't be good enough. He kept telling himself, "One day I'll be ready." One evening, a friend invited him to perform at an open mic night. Chris was terrified, but he decided to face his fears. He took the stage, played his song, and surprisingly, the audience loved it. That one night gave him the confidence to pursue music full-time. Today, Chris tours the country, performing his own music and living his dream. He realized that all it took was that one action to open the door to everything he had ever wanted. Example story 3. David had always wanted to write a blog. He had so many ideas, but every time he thought about starting, he would procrastinate. "I need to plan more," he would say. "I need to learn more about blogging first." But one day, David realized he was letting fear and perfectionism hold him back. He sat down, created his first post, and hit publish. The blog didn't take off immediately, but David didn't mind. Over time he kept writing, learning, and improving. His blog grew in popularity, and now he makes a full-time income from writing. By simply starting, David learned that waiting for the right moment will only keep you stuck. Action is what creates opportunities. Lesson 5. Learn from failures. Everyone experiences failure at some point, but failure isn't the end. In fact, it's often a step toward success. The key is how you respond. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear, see it as a learning experience. Every mistake teaches you something valuable, and it's up to you to turn those lessons into future success. Example story 1. Alice had a dream of opening her own restaurant. She researched for months, worked on the menu, and secured funding. When the restaurant finally opened, things didn't go as planned. Sales were lower than expected, and she had trouble attracting customers. After months of struggling, Alice had to close her restaurant. It was a heartbreaking failure, but instead of giving up, Alice took the lessons from her experience. She analyzed what went wrong, learned from her mistakes, and then came up with a new plan. A year later, she reopened her restaurant with a new approach, a more focused menu, better marketing strategies, and improved customer service. This time, the restaurant became a success, proving that failure isn't permanent. It's part of the journey. Example story 2. Mike had always wanted to drive, but his first 3 attempts at passing the driving test ended in failure. He was frustrated and embarrassed, but he didn't give up. Instead, Mike decided to focus on improving. He studied harder, took more practice tests, and sought advice from experienced drivers. On his 4th attempt, Mike passed with flying colors. Not only did he earn his driver's license, but he also learned that failure is just an opportunity to grow. If he had quit after the 1st or 2nd attempt, he never would have achieved his goal. Persistence, learning from mistakes, and staying focused led to his success. Example story 3. Sophia had always dreamed of becoming a professional painter. But when she painted her first few artworks, they didn't turn out the way she expected. She was discouraged and almost gave up. However, Sophia decided to continue practicing. She took art classes, learned different techniques, and kept painting. Over time, her skills improved, and her paintings started to receive attention. Today, Sophia is a well-known artist with her own gallery. She credits her success to the lessons she learned from her early failures. She realized that mistakes were simply stepping stones to mastery. Lesson 6. Surround yourself with positive people. The people you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your mindset, motivation, and success. If you're constantly around negative, unsupportive individuals, it can drain your energy and hold you back. But when you surround yourself with positive, encouraging people, they can inspire you to achieve more and push through challenges. Example story 1. Tom had always dreamed of becoming a successful entrepreneur, but his friends didn't believe in him. They often mocked his ideas and told him he was being unrealistic. Tom began to feel discouraged, but he realized that his friends' negativity was holding him back. So, he decided to distance himself from them and find a new circle of friends who shared his ambition. He joined an entrepreneurial group, where he met like-minded people who encouraged him to take action. With their support, Tom launched his business and achieved his goals. His new circle of positive people made all the difference. Example story 2. Rachel had always been surrounded by negative people who constantly complained about everything, from work to relationships. She started to feel like life was just a series of problems. But one day Rachel decided to make a change. She distanced herself from the complainers and began spending time with people who were focused on solutions and personal growth. As she shifted her social circle, Rachel's happiness and success grew. She felt more motivated, optimistic, and confident. Surrounding herself with positive influences helped Rachel see life in a new light. Example story 3. Carlos always wanted to start his own tech company, but he was afraid of failing. His family and friends didn't understand his dream and warned him about the risks. He almost gave up on his idea, but then he joined a group of aspiring entrepreneurs. They shared their stories, offered support, and motivated him to take action. With their encouragement, Carlos decided to take the leap. Today, he owns a successful tech company and credits much of his success to the positive, inspiring people he surrounded himself with. Lesson 7. Be grateful. Gratitude can completely transform your perspective on life. When things aren't going well, it's easy to focus on everything that's wrong. But practicing gratitude shifts your focus to what's right and helps you appreciate the good things you have, even during tough times. Gratitude can improve your mood, increase your resilience, and make you more open to opportunities. Example story 1. Rebecca was going through a difficult time in her life. She felt like nothing was going right. Her job was stressful, her relationships were strained, and she struggled with anxiety. One day, a friend suggested that she start a gratitude journal. At first, Rebecca was skeptical, but she gave it a try. Every night, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for, no matter how small. Slowly but surely, her perspective began to shift. She realized that even on her worst days, there were still blessings to be thankful for. Over time, this practice helped Rebecca feel more positive, and her life began to improve. Example story 2. James had been stuck in his career for years, feeling like he wasn't making progress. He complained about everything from his job to his salary, but nothing changed. One day, James decided to practice gratitude. Instead of focusing on what was wrong, He started acknowledging the things that were going well. He had a steady job, supportive colleagues, and a healthy family. As he continued practicing gratitude, he found himself becoming more patient and positive. Eventually, his boss noticed his attitude shift and offered him a promotion. Gratitude didn't just improve his outlook, it opened the door to new opportunities. Example story 3. Katie was often overwhelmed with the demands of her daily life. She felt like she was always running from one task to the next, never having time to appreciate the small things. After attending a workshop on gratitude, Katie decided to make it a daily habit. She began thanking herself for accomplishing tasks, appreciating her health, and celebrating the small victories. This simple shift in mindset brought more joy into her life. Katie felt more fulfilled, and as a result, her opportunities for success increased. She realized that gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your life. Lesson 8. Stay consistent. Success rarely happens overnight. It's the result of steady, consistent effort over time. Whether it's working on a new habit, a skill, or a goal, consistency is the key that turns small actions into big results. The journey may seem slow at times, but every step forward is progress. In the end, it's the consistent daily actions that lead to success. Example story 1. Ben had struggled with his weight for years. He tried countless diets and exercise plans but could never stick to them long enough to see lasting results. One day, he decided to take a different approach. Instead of focusing on quick fixes or drastic changes, Ben made a commitment to exercise for just 30 minutes each day and eat healthier, one day at a time. It wasn't about perfection, but about consistency. He didn't expect to see huge changes right away, but he trusted the process. After a year of steady effort, Ben had lost over 50 pounds, gained muscle, and felt more energized than ever before. The lesson he learned was that success doesn't come from a few big efforts. It comes from showing up every day and sticking to the plan. Example story 2. Jill had always wanted to start a blog, but she was intimidated by the idea of creating consistent content. She told herself that she would start by posting once a month. The first few posts were easy, but after a while, she realized that posting just once a month wasn't enough to grow an audience. She decided to commit to posting once a week. Felt like a big challenge at first, but she kept going. Over time, Jill became better at writing, her audience grew, and her blog's traffic increased significantly. Today, her blog is one of the top-rated websites in her niche. Consistency was the key to turning her passion into a successful venture, and now she's able to make a living from something she loves doing. Example story 3. Lucas always dreamed of becoming a writer, but like many people, he didn't think he had the time or talent to make it happen. He began writing every day, even if it was just for 15 minutes. First, the progress felt slow. His writing didn't seem perfect, and there were days when he felt discouraged. But he kept at it. He wrote through the struggles, refining his skills little by little. After years of consistent work, Lucas published his first novel, which became a bestseller. His persistence paid off. What he learned was that success in writing, or anything else, isn't about being perfect from the start. It's about staying consistent, putting in the work every day, and trusting that your efforts will eventually pay off. Lesson 9. Help others. One of the most fulfilling ways to make your life meaningful is by helping others. When you give your time, energy, or resources to someone else, you create a sense of purpose that is not only deeply rewarding but also brings joy and growth to your own life. Helping others brings out the best in us and allows us to make a difference in the world. Example story 1. Hannah had always felt that something was missing in her life. She had a good job, a loving family, and many friends, but she still felt unfulfilled. One day, she decided to volunteer at a local shelter for homeless people. The work was challenging. Many of the people she helped were struggling with addiction, mental health issues, and poverty, but she felt a deep connection to them. As she spent more time helping, she realized how much she appreciated being able to make a real difference in someone's life. She was no longer focused on her own problems. Instead, her energy was directed toward making others' lives a little better. Volunteering gave her a sense of purpose that she had never felt before. It reminded her that life isn't just about receiving but also about giving back. Example story 2. Mark was an excellent math student, and he often noticed that many of his classmates struggled with the subject. Instead of just feeling frustrated by their difficulties, he decided to offer his help. Mark began tutoring students after school, offering them one-on-one lessons to help them understand the material. At first, it felt like a big responsibility, but as he continued, he saw the impact he was having. His students improved, their grades went up, and their confidence in math grew. Mark felt proud of his work, and the sense of pride he gained from helping others gave him a deep sense of fulfillment. By sharing his knowledge, Mark not only helped others succeed but also developed a greater sense of purpose and achievement in his own life. Example story 3. Sophia was always passionate about reading, and she knew many children in her community who were struggling to learn how to read. She decided to dedicate her weekends to teaching kids how to read, starting with a group of children from low-income families. It wasn't easy. Many of the kids had little support at home, and some struggled with learning disabilities. But Sophia didn't give up. She created engaging lessons and spent extra time with each child, helping them build confidence in their reading skills. Over time, she saw incredible progress. The kids were excited to read, and some even went on to become top students in their schools. Sophia felt a deep sense of pride and joy knowing that she had made a difference in their lives. Helping others not only brought her fulfillment but also reminded her of the power of education and the difference one person can make. Lesson 10. Live with passion. Living with passion means finding something you love and giving it your all. It's about pursuing your dreams with energy and enthusiasm, no matter how challenging the journey may be. When you're passionate about something, it's easier to push through the tough times because the pursuit itself is rewarding. Passion brings meaning and fulfillment to everything you do. Example story 1. Emma had always loved baking. As a child, she would spend hours in the kitchen with her grandmother, learning how to make cakes and pastries. After years of working in a corporate job, Emma realized that her true passion was baking, not the office work she had been doing. She made the decision to turn her hobby into a career. Emma worked hard to perfect her baking skills, taking classes and experimenting with new recipes. Eventually, she opened her own bakery. Today, her bakery is a beloved local business, and Emma wakes up every day excited to bake and create delicious treats. By following her passion, she found success and happiness in a way she never could have imagined. Example story 2. John was an amateur photographer, but he didn't think he had what it took to turn his passion into a career. He started taking pictures of nature, landscapes, and city scenes, but never shared his work. One day, he decided to submit his best photos to a national photography contest. To his surprise, some of his photos were selected for publication. That was the turning point. John realized that he could turn his love for photography into a profession. He started building his portfolio, networking with other photographers, and taking on paid projects. Today, his photography is featured in magazines, and he travels the world capturing beautiful moments. John learned that passion doesn't just drive you to success. It fuels the hard work that makes it possible. Example story 3. Lisa had always dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. She loved animals and knew that helping them was her true calling. But the road to becoming a vet was long and difficult. Lisa spent years in school, learning biology and animal care, and facing many challenges along the way. Despite the hardships, she stayed passionate about her goal. After years of hard work, Lisa became a veterinarian and opened her own clinic. Every day she was excited to go to work, knowing she was doing what she loved. Her passion for animals kept her going through the tough times, and it made her career not only successful but incredibly fulfilling. Conclusion. So there you have it. Don't waste your life. Time is precious, and it's up to you to make the most of it. Remember these 10 lessons. Use your time wisely, set goals, keep learning, take action, embrace failure, surround yourself with positivity, practice gratitude, stay consistent, help others, and live with passion. If you follow these, you'll live a life full of purpose and meaning. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. See you in the next video and keep making the most of your life.